All right, all you gun voters in Iowa and Johnson County, Judd Lawler or Adam Grier? Who's going to fight for your gun rights in the Iowa House? Stay tuned, guys. I'm breaking this race down for you right now. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Iowa Gun Owners. The primary is almost here, and for gun owners in House District 91, there's a matchup between Adam Grier and Judd Lawler. It's all of Iowa County and about half to two-thirds of Johnson County. And it's an open seat race because Brad Sherman is retiring, thus creating this primary matchup. And so the question that we're being asked by IGO members and others in the community is, who's going to fight for us? Who's going to actually lead in the fight for gun rights here in Des Moines? Everyone says they're pro-gun, ordinarily, but what does that mean? We want people who will actually fight to defend our freedom. And so what we have done since session adjourned is surveyed every candidate running for office here in Iowa, and we combine the results of our survey program, any votes they have if they were an incumbent, public statements they've made, and other things to give you guys a snapshot of how these candidates may vote on the top gun rights issues of the day. So we have kind of a good news, bad news report to give you. I'm going to begin with the bad news. The bad news is that Adam Grier simply will not tell gun owners where he stands. Adam has refused to fill out the candidate survey given to him by Iowa gun owners. We have mailed it to him. We have emailed it to him. I believe it was texted to him as well if he gave his phone number when he filed his candidacy papers, but at least it was mailed and emailed multiple times, multiple efforts to hear from Adam Grier. He simply will not complete the candidate survey. And so all the big issues of the day, would he vote for the Second Amendment Preservation Act? He won't tell us. How about enhanced stand your ground law? Grier won't tell us. How about the big gun control bills being talked about right now? Red flag gun seizures. There's a lot of Republicans across the country, federal level and state level, and some right here in Iowa, who support red flag laws. They have a good version, they think, and a bad version, and they support some form of red flag laws. Does Adam Grier back red flags? He won't tell us. He's refused to answer that question. The same with AR-15 bans, gun registration, raising the age on when you can buy firearms here in Iowa. Every question we tried to get an answer from Adam Grier, he has refused to tell us. And in our experience, when a candidate will not put their views in writing, especially in a primary when they really need the support of gun owners, that's almost always a very bad sign and a harbinger they intend to be one of the standard, moderate, rhino-ish crowd that does have a certain percentage of the House GOP caucus here in Des Moines. That's the report on Adam Grier. None of it's good. And that brings up Judd Lawler. And pretty much the opposite of what I said about Adam Grier is all the case when it comes to Judd Lawler. He surveyed with us 100% pro-gun. He's 100% in support of the Second Amendment Preservation Act. That's the law that asserts state sovereignty and tells Joe Biden that you cannot use Iowa cops to enforce federal gun control laws anymore. Iowa cops work for Iowans, and they will be enforcing Iowa law when it comes to firearms and ammunition. It is all the rage right now in red states. We need it very badly here, and Judd Lawler supports that 100%. We also asked Judd about enhanced stand your ground law. We've got stand your ground law here in Iowa today. We passed it back in 2017. But our stand your ground law is weak, and it was made weak in the House committee process days before it went to the floor for a vote. The problem we have right now is you really can't invoke stand your ground law in Iowa until you're on the appeal process. So after you've been convicted of murder, for example, after you've been fired from your job, after you're probably in prison, after your neighbors think you're a killer, after you're broke from legal fees, now you get the right to assert stand your ground law on appeal. That's ridiculous. We have to fix that. Enhanced stand your ground law would do exactly that, and Judd Lawler supports that 100%. We asked Judd, what about red flag laws? Because some Republicans think that as long as you remove the ex parte hearings, the secret hearings, that somehow it's okay. Our perspective is that red flag laws are always terrible because they allow our guns to be confiscated with no conviction for a crime in a court of law. There's not even an arrest. There's no indictment. There's nothing. It shreds our due process rights. They're terrible. Judd Lawler was a hell no on red flags. whatever version we asked him about. The same for AR-15 bans, gun registration, raising the age on gun sales. Judd Lawler, 100% pro-gun. So guys, we're getting close to the end of the campaign season. If you see Judd door knocking or at a campaign event or just at Casey's, be sure to thank him for his strong support for your gun rights, for his 100% pro-gun survey, and for having the guts to be willing to lead in the fight for gun rights here in Des Moines. If you see Adam Grier, be sure to ask this guy, what are you trying to hide? What's your big deal? Yeah, you're the former mayor of one of our towns. We get that. You won't survey. You won't even mention gun rights on your social media platforms. Why are you so afraid to discuss your stance on the Second Amendment? Ask him that question, guys. See what he says. And as always, share our video on social media. Tag your friends in the comments section to see more race breakdowns. Go to our Facebook page, YouTube channel, or our website. There's a lot of information out there for gun voters. And guys, as always, get involved in the fight today at joinigo.com.